Hello, boys and girls. It's story time with Sparkles, our unicorn friend. Can you wave to Sparkles? Let's begin with our welcome song, The More We Get Together. The more we get together, together, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. For your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. The more we get together, together, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. For your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. Boys and girls, Sparkles, our unicorn friend, has chosen a very special story. Our story for today is Nella, the Princess Knight. And this book is written by Christine Ritchie. I'm reading this book with permission from Random House Publishing. Let's begin. Once there was a beautiful princess. Here she is, so beautiful. She lived in the kingdom of Castle Haven. Princess Nella was her name. Princess Nella loved attending royal balls and fancy picnics in her glitzy gowns, sparkling crowns, and shiny shoes. But she also dreamed of other things. From her balcony, Princess Nella could see beyond the kingdom walls. She saw out here beyond the kingdom walls. And she thought, I wonder what it would be like to climb mountains, camp in caves, and discover wild creatures. She thought, I wish I were a daring and courageous knight. One day, Princess Nella was walking in the royal garden when she spotted a small gate hidden behind the rose bushes. She pushed it open and she stepped into the Dragon Blossom Woods. The creatures there were very friendly. A cute little chipsqueak landed on Princess Nella's arm and chirped hello. A bouncy, flop-eared fleagle brought her a flower. If I am very quiet, whispered Nella, maybe a critter dragon will land on my finger. And just then, Nella heard a soft whimper. Like that. She followed the sound and discovered a unicorn was stuck in a bog. Help! Cried the unicorn. This bog goop is ruining my new ruby horseshoes. And Nella quickly pulled the unicorn out of the muck. The unicorn's mane was quite goopy, so Nella invited her to rinse off in a bubble bath back at the castle. The unicorn giggled. A royal bathtub filled with glittery bubbles. That's a unicorn's dream. Princess Nella was curious about her new friend. What's your name? She asked. Trinket, replied the unicorn. That's a perfect name for you, said Nella, because trinkets are unique, beautiful, and very special, just like you." Trinket's horn glowed bright with happiness. Then Trinket handed Nella a present, a special stone called the Knightly Heart. It twinkled in Nella's hand. "It's beautiful." Trinket smiled. "It's also magical. Friendship makes the knightly heart grow stronger, and kindness makes it sparkle. And when you need it most, it will give you courage." Trinket and Nella became the best of friends. Trinket even moved into the stable next door to the castle. One night, Trinket and Nella were having a fancy and frilly camp out. As they snuggled into their sleeping bags, a dark shadow crossed the moon. An enormous dragon scooped Trinket up, sleeping bag and all, and flew off toward Snowbird's Peak. "Oh no! Trinket is in danger!" cried Nella. "I've got to rescue her." Princess Nella felt lost and scared among the tall trees and majestic mountains. "If only I were as daring and courageous as a knight," she thought, as she clutched her heart-shaped stone tightly. While Nella was on her way to save Trinket, a gust of wind blew, and a chipsqueak nest out of its tree. She raced to catch it. She used a ribbon to weave the nest together and tie it to a branch. The thankful chipsqueaks flew alongside her, keeping her company on the way to Stoneburst Peak. When she got deeper into the forest, Nella pulled a flop-eared fleagle out of a thorny bush. She even shared a snack with a hungry giant. Nella So Brave. Soon, all kinds of critters and creatures had joined Nella's journey, and with each new friendship, she felt a bit braver, and the knightly heart glowed a bit brighter. Not far from Snowbird's Peak, Princess Nella and her new friends came upon an enchanted labyrinth. Inside, a Bafflin was caught in some vines. Princess Nella gently untangled her. Another brave deed. The Bafflin was so grateful that she offered to fly Nella to the dragon's cave. Nella could hear strange sounds coming from inside the cave. She stopped and took out the knightly heart. "I have always dreamed of doing great things," she said, "and now I know that the greatest thing I can do is help a friend." Suddenly, the heart began to sparkle. As the magical heart grew more and more powerful, Nella realized that being a princess was only part of who she was. She was also a kind and caring friend, and that made her as daring and courageous as a knight. "My heart is bright. I am a princess knight," said Nella. Sparkles burst from the heart. swirling and whirling around Nella's gown and transforming it into a dazzling suit of armor. Her tiara flipped over and became the handle of a glowing sword. She transformed into a brave knight from a princess. Feeling stronger and braver than ever before, Nella spotted the dragon's shadow cast across an icy crevice. To cross that crevice, I'm going to need a net, Nella exclaimed. She tossed her sword into the air, and as it twirled, it turned into a gleaming archer's bow. Nella launched several ribbon arrows across the crevice, and they weaved together to form a bridge. She bravely climbed onto the bridge and crossed over. "I'm coming, Trinket!" shouted Nella as she expanded her shield into a glistening snowboard. Carving into each turn, she sailed over the snowy jumps and bumps. She picked up speed as her board soared across the snow. And finally, she landed in a spray of ice crystals right in front of the dragon. Summoning all her knightly courage, Nella told the dragon, "I am here to rescue my unicorn friend." Then she grabbed the sleeping bag, opened it, and released Trinket. "You're my dazzling hero," said Trinket, and she gave Nella the best unicorn hug ever. The dragon was surprised. "I didn't know a unicorn was in there," she said. "I only wanted a blanket because my cave is so cold and dreary." "This calls for a dragon cave makeover!" exclaimed Nella. "Yes," cheered Trinket. "Looks like a courageous princess knight and her very fashionable unicorn have some work to do." Soon Nella and Trinket had turned the dragon's lonely ice cave into a bright, cozy home filled with flowers and friends. Back at her own home, Nella and Trinket made a necklace with a knightly heart so Nella could wear it every day. "I love being both a dazzling princess and a courageous knight," said Nella proudly. "But helping friends is what really makes my heart sparkle." The end. That was Nella the Princess Knight. What a good choice. Our Sparkles unicorn friend chose a very nice story about friendship, bravery, and being a princess. Boys and girls, it's time for a riddle. Sparkles, do you have a special riddle? Yes. Boys and girls, what has a head and a tail, but no body? What could that be? Has a head, a tail, but no body. Let's see. Let's think. Could it be, did you guess, a coin? A coin has a head on one side, a tail on the other, but it has no body. Is that the right answer, Sparkles? Yes, it is. Boys and girls, now it's time to say goodbye. Are you ready for our goodbye song? Let's sing together with Sparkles. It's time to say goodbye. It's time to say goodbye. Hi-ho the dairy-o, it's time to say goodbye. It's time to say goodbye. It's time to say goodbye. Hi-ho the dairy-o, it's time to say goodbye.